Today I'm talking about prosperity through enjoyment. So repeat the subject after me. Prosperity through enjoyment.
Prosperity through enjoyment.
Some of you don't sound like you're enjoying very much. So I'm going to run that past you again and see if you can open your mouth. You know, Jesus said, he shall have whatsoever he saith. You know, the esoteric laws of life and of mind are sometimes so simple that people just pass right by them and miss them. So listen to the law as stated by the Master Jesus again before we repeat the subject so that you will be aware. And let's say it this way. He shall have whatsoever he says.
He shall have whatsoever he says.
You shall have whatsoever you say.
You shall have whatsoever you say.
And let's make it in the first person and touch yourself and say, I shall have whatsoever I say. Come on.
I shall have whatsoever I say.
Now this time you're going to call your name. And whatever your name is, if your name is Tommy Jones, say, Tommy Jones shall have whatsoever he says. Now, I want you to call your name out loudly. Come on, let's hear it. Frederick Eichlencoder shall have whatsoever he says. What a law that is. Now, this may shock and surprise some of you. But you know what you have right now? Whatever you have right now in life, you have that because it matches what you say about yourself in your heart. Whew. If you want more, say more. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
So say with me, if I want more, I say more.
If I want more, I say more.
That's interesting. It lets you know also that you are not under the limitation of what somebody else says. Ladies and gentlemen, there are so few people who recognize the power of the word, the power of their word. But even a weak man or a weak mind still has the power of God or the power of thought in it. This is why the scripture says that the weak can say, I am strong. And let the weak say, I am strong. There's a great mystery to that. I don't know how many more thousands of years I'm going to be preaching on that particular thought. Let the weak say, I am strong. There is such a mystic revelation there. And if you just think about it intellectually, you will miss it. And just on the surface, someone will say, and I've had it said, well, Reverend Ike, why is it that you tell poor people to say, I'm rich? How can I say I am rich if I am not? How can I say I am well if I am not? That's, first of all, why you better say it. Because you shall have whatsoever you say. But here is one of the great mystic secrets of that. And I repeat again and again and again. It is this. The weak are to say, I am strong, because this shows that even in the weak man or the weak mind, there is God power. And I've got good news for you. The next time you feel down, the next time you feel disgusted, the next time you feel discouraged, the next time you feel weak, you must know that even in a weak mood, you still have God power in you. And all you have to do is speak it. And no matter what your condition of sickness may seem to be, in your mind there is still God power. And all you have to do is speak it. Recognize it. So now, you got all of that, you got a whole sermon just because you didn't say the subject loudly enough. And I think we're all better for this explanation. So now let's get to the subject. And it excites me because whenever you speak a word, even the atoms in your body dance and change places. So let's pronounce the subject again. Listen to the way I pronounce it, and then I want you to hit it with all of your God power. Prosperity through enjoyment.
Prosperity through enjoyment.
Say it again.
Prosperity through enjoyment.
And to those of you that have never been here before, right away you see you're in a different kind of joint. I mean church today. Because the subject contains two words that so much of organized religion does not even believe in. Prosperity and enjoyment. So say the word prosperity.
Prosperity.
Enjoyment.
Enjoyment.
And some of you may be asking, yeah, what kind of place is this? I remember some years ago, it was very interesting, when Dorothy Fox had some of her people up there dancing and performing on the stage at the beginning of the service. A man and his wife sat there for a few minutes and took a look at that. The man said to his wife, what kind of place is this? Let's get the hell out of here. Let me tell you, this is a prosperity place. Say it.
This is a prosperity place.
All right, and I have some text from the Bible that I'm going to have you read with me while you're standing, and then we're going to sit down and think about them for a few minutes. Now, I've told you so much already, I could just take up the money and we could go home and practice what I've told you to say. You see, I've given you the key already. I've told you what you shall have whatsoever you say. So all you really need to do now is just give me a whole lot of money and go on home and say what you want. And don't sit down until I tell you. I told you you're in a different kind of joint. I mean church today. I've got to tell you something about the power of your word also, and I'm going to tell something. This particular lady, she's one of the co-workers here in this church, faithful for many years. She didn't tell me not to tell this. She didn't tell me that it was a secret. Many of us know her, Sister Schofield. And I got word the other day that she had a fire in her place one Tuesday night last week while she was here. And, of course, I talked to her yesterday, and the social services department of this church is in contact with her. And but I was talking to her yesterday, and she was telling me about the fire. And then all of a sudden something clicked to me. I said, it's a Schofield. Said, didn't you tell me a few weeks ago that you wanted to move from where you are? She said, yes. I said, well, we have to be careful with our prayers. Sometimes you don't know how the word is going to come back at you. It says, well, who knows? Maybe God's pushing you. Trust you get some of that good insurance money. She didn't get hurt. Nobody was harmed. But hear this. Ladies and gentlemen, you never think a thought without bringing about a consequence. There is never a thought without a consequence. Say that.
There is never a thought without a
And so it's good to cross-examine yourself in your thinking and in what you are saying from time to time and ask yourself, do I want the consequence of this thought? Do I want the consequence of this mood? That'll help you dump the blues in a hurry.